Hello, Steve White, Steve RC9. Well, Sinners has surprised everyone. Now, a week or so ago, it opened really big, and Variety said don't get too excited. Horror movies sometimes are open big, but they don't have legs. They drop off really quick and then they go away, and this film costs a lot of money, so it's probably not going to actually make money. And a lot of people who don't understand how film, you know, financing works didn't understand it has to make more than twice the amount of money that it cost, including promotion, to actually make a profit. People just saying, oh, it cost 90 million, it made this amount, so it's already profitable, and they don't understand how it works. So a lot of people who are supporting this film for cultural reasons, who usually don't follow Hollywood films and don't understand financing, were carrying on and getting upset and crying racism, and it was all ridiculous because they were just assuming that this film would have the run that a horror movie does, and with the budget it does, it wouldn't make its money back. They were just saying, don't get too excited, it's probably not going to profit. Even though a lot of people showed up, it costs a lot of money. But 6% drop, unheard of. Almost unheard of. There's only been a couple of films in history that have only dropped like 5% in the second weekend, and they're usually smaller ones. So this is unheard of, unexpected, unpredictable, and it's probably going to have legs because it's not just a horror film. It's not being treated as a horror film. It's a cultural phenomena. It is exploring black culture in the 30s and the whole juke joint scene and all that. And we haven't seen a decent juke joint since, The Colour Purple. I love the juke joint scenes. Sorry, I'm just remembering Oprah punching that girl and knocking her down. Sorry. I can just see her crawling back up. Sorry. So that shocked everyone, and the only bad thing about it is it undermined the Star Wars reissue of Star Wars 3: Revenge of the Sith. It would have been number one, and they were expecting it to be number one because of the they weren't expecting this film to have a second weekend, so like it did. So it's a bit disappointing that it wasn't number one at the box office. It made like 30 million. Hayden Christensen and Samuel L. Jackson showed up at a premiere with lightsabers and said thanks to everyone, and Hayden did a recorded welcome in a cinema that played in front of the film and everything, and he's getting a lot of love now because a lot of people hated on the prequel trilogy, and now with the sequel trilogy it's looking really good, and a lot of people grew up with it, so they have affection for it. So he's getting a lot of lot of love now, and it's good. It's nice to see because people really gave him hell because he did struggle acting in a green screen world, with George Lucas's production, which was new. No one else had done that, until then. So he got a lot of crap back in the day. So it's a bit disappointing that Star Wars wasn't number one on its opening, but reissue, but no one could have predicted Sinners running like this. It's a phenomenon. It made 45 million, sorry, did I forget to mention, in that weekend. So 46 million the first weekend. And so its domestic now is 122.5 million, 39.1 million overseas. So it's not doing as well overseas because American films and a lot of films, like black-led American films, don't do so well internationally. Its global debut now is 161. Now Warner Brothers is saying they'd be happy with 170 million. I don't see how that's going to be profitable. Grace Randolph was saying 225 would be the breaking even point because the budget was 90 million plus advertising. And when I was sort of thinking 180 million it'd need, I wasn't actually taking into account the advertising, which I think was like 40 or 50 million. It might have been less, might have been 20 or 30. I don't know. But so unprecedented, unpredictable, and unfair to call, Variety racist for saying, just assuming this would run like a horror movie, because that's what it was being promoted as and is to a degree. That's part of it. But so I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Sinner's success. I haven't seen it yet. I hear it's good. I will see it. I like vampire films. And I like Michael B. Jordan, so why wouldn't I? I'm glad it's doing well. I just hate that, the episode 3 reissue, didn't get to be number one. I really wanted to see that because I just assumed, like everyone else, that was going to be the big film for the weekend because no one expected Sinners 2 to have a second weekend like this. But oh yeah, they're already talking about franchising, and that's the other thing. People were getting freaked out because he had a contract where he would get the rights back to the film in 25 years, and people were saying though Variety was attacking the film because Hollywood doesn't want to see, you know, creators, especially black creators, actually owning their own IPs and having their own franchises and that. I'm like, that's just a bunch of paranoid conjecture. They were just talking about money, and they were looking at now how horror films usually play out and saying, don't get too excited because, you know, it costs a lot of money, maybe made a lot of money, but costs a lot of money. So they couldn't have predicted what was going to happen because it's unprecedented. So I'm going to go. Did I say that already? I think so.